Hello, my dear audiences. Welcome back to the East-West Show, exclusively sponsored by Paul Batanley, an internationally renowned brand name for men's suit. Not only they are leading the fashion, but also they do with the technology that makes the fabric water resistant, and that makes the fabric more durable. Okay, doesn't pop up, right? So stretchable, in other words. And I'm lucky to be sponsored by Paul Batanley. Paul, thank you very much. And let's get back to the show. I have Linda here. Linda Truman is a trainer of the great program called Meals on Wheels. And she's been doing that for no money, right? Yet she has to put up her own costs. Your gasoline, right? I know that, right? Your car yourself, right? And also the insurance of the car.
Yes.
And your time and efforts regardless. And yet, I'm not saying that I'm not giving any comment on your life though. I'm talking about she's all by herself. And by doing that, she gets herself a family. And she calls herself a member of the big family. For that, Linda, for that philosophy, for that take, I give you my 110% salute.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. And Joe Gardner is the president of Meals on Wheels, the great program. He's been doing that for a long, long time. And he has earned a big reputation. Before that, he was on the service of Santa Monica PD for 27 years. He was multiple award-winning officer, and has encountered himself, put his life in line. For so many instances, he almost lost it. Lucky we still have Joe Gardner, right? Coming back, stepping down to the community, he picked up the job, a payless job, immediately. And he now operates the program as the president. For that, Joe, I said, in the name of God, I love you for doing that.
Thanks, Joe.
Very good. And I wish there were more Joes, right? And I wish there were more Linda. Or if you cannot afford that many Linda, that many Joe, how about a little Jack Chow?
That's right.
That would work, right? Right. Okay, now with Joe, Linda, Jack Chow, we probably can still do something, even though the effort is so small.
Well,
right?
Jack doesn't talk about it very much, but he does a lot for his community by doing programs like this, and indirectly, maybe in some respect, but he, he promotes programs like our own and many others, and for that, you should be applauded, Jack.
Yeah, I'm proud of me myself, but I would say that it is the obligation that me and my team, all feel on a day-to-day basis. That makes ourselves feel that, oh, we're better off because we have done a little something, right? So now together, if we're thinking, we're assuming every member of society does exactly what we do, even though small, we can make make a huge mountains, right? And by philosophy, what is a mountain made of? Little sand, right? The grains of sand that makes mountains, right? Why don't we do that? Now that our government, our Congress, or whatever, oh, by the way, which is off anyway at this time, and the White House and whatsoever, they're so busy. Now they're talking about Air Force One. Should they use a gold handle or silver handle? You heard that, right?
I did.
Okay, now, with or without a gold handle. Not golden, I'm talking about gold. Gold, G-O-L-D, with or without a gold handle. Would Air Force One be Air Force Two?
Oh.
Huh? You tell me.
Step down.
Yeah? All right. So I'm saying that when they are too busy of thinking about that, when they are too busy thinking about sanction to other countries who do not follow my rules, when they are too busy talking about the building of the walls at the border, so on and so forth, so that they will just sit there, relax, no more problem forever, when they are so busy to push up the Wall Street numbers and so on and so forth, when bankers are too busy counting their money like that, we know that nobody will do our job. Right. Who will do our job? Nobody, nothing but us, ourselves. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I laying down a true philosophy?
Sometimes we don't look close enough to see the people right in front of us that could use some help. And
yes, exactly. Exactly.
I always try to remember that.
You're next door. Right. You're next door, right? You're next door neighbor.
Right.
Okay. Last Saturday, I took my wife to 3rd Street, Santa Monica. You know Santa Monica, sure. 3rd Street, right? Okay. And there was a guy with one leg, amputated, totally amputated to the thigh part, right? He was there doing some performance for some little money. And I checked with him. He was a veteran.
Oh, goodness. Wow.
Come on, my friend. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do something. Well, it's never too late to do something. It's never too late. Especially when you're in the mood of celebrating Christmas. Right? I can continue. Joe, let's talk about your program, please.
Well, Meals on Wheels is a national program, but we run a local chapter in the City of Industry. And
Industry or El Monte or West Covina?
No, it's in City of Industry, right next to where the sheriff's station is.
I see.
In the City of Industry on Hacienda. And we get our meals from Queen of the Valley or Citrus Valley Health Partners, where they provide the wholesome meals that meet the specifications for the customers we serve, the people that, the recipients that get the food. What takes place every day is that the volunteers like Linda, myself, and many others, about 40 others, will go and take those meals to those people who otherwise wouldn't have the ability to prepare meals for themselves or to leave the house because they may be handicapped or they may have some type of disability. And they may be all by themselves and elderly.
You're right.
One of our recipients
and
is
for
102.
That, let me do a little insert, right?
Sure.
Even you, me, so strong, kicking alive. Right? Someday, somehow, in the long run, though, those are the state we must be in. We can't get away from it, right? By nature. Go ahead, please.
You know, and some of our drivers are people who have had parents that were part of the program, and so they felt like they wanted to give back and become volunteers for the program. And so oftentimes Linda or any of our drivers will go. That might be the only person that recipient will see all day, you know. So the people we serve could be very lonely, emotionally detached because of their disability. And for many, and I've been a driver myself, when we show up at the door, there's smiles, there's a opportunity to engage in conversation because that's all those folks might have.
Exactly, exactly. So Linda, you feel proud doing the job you do now?
Very much so.
How proud?
Proud where I tell people what I'm doing. You know, they ask, what do you do now that you're retired? And I've done different things. I've worked in a library as a volunteer. I got them all caught up putting books in the system. And so I went back home and I was trying to figure out what next. And the owners, Mr. and Mrs. House, I was in a scholarship organization at Mount Sac. I lost a son, and instead of flowers, they gave money. So for all these years, I go and give scholarships, that money that I received.
I see.
And give it to the students.
Oh, man.
So we take our pictures together and they send it, Mount Sac sends it. So I have that connection. My son was a pole vaulter, and so the scholarship goes to a track star. And it's very rewarding. It really is nice.
I see. All right.
Another thing that I do, because this wasn't a full-time job, it's kind of a part-time. For 3 years, I've been wrapping toys at a church. We're there for maybe 5 hours wrapping toys for the children. And then the next day, we go and we package food for the family, the same family. And, I don't know how many, it's hundreds that we wrap. And that's another rewarding volunteer that I can do.
Thank you very much, Linda. You don't make rockets?
I did once.
Yeah. Reason I'm asking that, even though you don't make rockets, even though you don't make nuclear bombs, I'll give you the same respect as I would give them, if not more, if not more. And nuclear bomb kills people, anyway. And wrapped a gift will never. Will never. All right. And altogether, what they are doing might be so small, super small, and it's so small that it might be just neglected, right? Or overlooked at least. Yet on this show, we want to emphasize those are great deeds that sparkles in the dark, like our moons in the sky, that gives people hope. Right. Okay, my dear audience, today I feel excited, and I was excited for one moment so much that I couldn't even continue talking. I had Joe and Linda help me with their activities in the field called philanthropy. We're not a philanthropists, they are not, who can afford like $1 million. They have one pair of hands, they have one big heart. That's all they have, right? Such as Jack Giles may be small though. I want to say at least one thing I can do. I can use my lips to call upon people, hey brothers, sisters, wake up and do something, like that kind, right?
Sure.
Okay, I'm doing my part. And me and my team, I have lots of members of my team behind the cameras and at the editing, whatever. They are joining me by doing their pinpoints. So together, let's cultivate. I call it cultivate. Let's cultivate ourselves, our own life. It's a mutual thing. Am I right? Okay, now, let's take a very short moment out. We will be right back, please. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the East-West Show, exclusively sponsored by Paul Batanley, an internationally renowned brand name for men's suit that I'm wearing one piece. As you see, I have lots of pieces. Thank you, Paul, for giving me that piece of jacket. It's a wonderful jacket that is water resistant, that is stretchable, that make me, I call this more handful, not handsome, right? More handsome or make me handsome.
That's right.
It works.
It works.
Okay, it works. Anyway, okay, now, today we're celebrating Christmas, yet we are celebrating in a different way. We want to celebrate Christmas by letting this voice out and making it very vocal for people to wake up, to think twice or 3 times or 4 times, asking yourself, what have I done? Okay, to the society. Okay, society might be too good, too big, right? And if I quote from Joe, you can say, what have I done to my neighbor? Right? What have I done to my husband, for example? Make it even smaller. What have I done to my wife? So on and so forth. And it's like when we see doctors, we do checkup head to toe, right? At the end of the year, at this time, I want to remind you to do a mind checkup, to check about your heart. Is my heart big enough? Something like that. Okay. So I understand, Joe, you have entered into lots of other programs, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are these? Or are those?
Well, I think the most rewarding thing about being retired now is that there's time to go and do other things.
Yeah.
And not only participate in Meals on Wheels, but I also am a person who has helped out Corey's Kitchen in Irwindale. It's a food bank that feeds probably 5,000 people a month. And what they do is accept food from various sources, from supermarkets, from other people, canned goods and refrigerated items, and they give that out to people who show up at their doors.
Oh, for that, I have a little insertion that I would like to share with Linda that you might know already. There was a time I had this conversation with one of the candidates back then for a county supervisor's position, county supervisor position, talking about food. He says, quote unquote, California had sufficient food. Now the status is that California has 1/5 shortage of our food.
Wow.
And yet we're wasting 50% more of our food already. Suppose if somebody, or some efforts, or some organization would guide the wasted 50% towards the 1/5, and we still have more than sufficient supplies to our needy people, So, let Joe go back to your program about putting the food together to make it a food bank. Those unconsumed yet in good condition food. Am I right?
Right. And that's exactly what Corey's does. It takes the food is not near expiration. It's just maybe overstock, and they will take that food and give it to people who will use it immediately. People who are in dire need of getting food. So I think that's a wonderful program. There's a number of many others. You know, my focus and passion has always been on homelessness and homeless families. So with that, I recently became appointed as a board member to Family Promise of San Gabriel Valley, which helps get families living in their cars off the streets. And so I think it's a very significant need, and one that I'm proud to be affiliated with now. So, and couple that with the subsidies that we give to people on Meals on Wheels who can't afford to have food. It's a real struggle for them to put enough money together to buy the low-cost meals. You know, we do subsidize folks who are really in need and could really use help.
All right. And even though you introduce your programs in a very kind of like amicable way, I see them as a very strong statement themselves already, right? Such as Linda, she received a fund, right? And it's a grant, or is it money? And you give the money to the kids to help them, right? You should pocket it. You have 100 reasons pocket that money, and you're giving out, right? So I should today do something else. Instead, I do this kind of celebration. So we're thinking the same way. To share with you one thing, one information, though, you probably want to make your food bank approach to some of the shop owners, such as Starbucks, such as whatever bakeries, those not necessarily those chain store, those franchise store, but those individual bakeries. The reason I mention is that a week ago, me and my wife were in a diamond bar somewhere. I hate to mention the exact location. And we went into a bakery. It was closing time, right? Of course, the food on shelves, staying there for a whole day, is not consumable. It's to the end already.
Right.
But by lifespan, food lifespan, it's to the end already. So what they did is that they make a mark on each of the piece of the bread or whatever, say 25% off.
No.
Right.
Yeah, no cost.
So they are still trying to make 75% out of value rather than put the money in the bank, let it do something more. Right? It's a profit oriented and versus non-profit oriented. And looks, education needs to be done, needs to be put in there. Please consider about doing that. Linda, you've been helping with the library. You're a teacher kind of woman. And then there looks to me, education needed. To the owner, say 75% of the value of your whatever, well, to give up the 75% of value. And I bet by closing time, they can't sell everything. There must be something totally wasted. And by law, they have to waste it, right? So rather than that, why don't you donate 75% of the value to it? Doing something positive, right? And there might be more approaches to enlarge the sources of supply.
Right.
Do you think so?
I do.
Yeah.
You know, in the school district, I worked in the cafeteria just as an extra, and I saw the waste that the children.
You're right.
They would either pay a discount, or they would get a full meal because they were low income, and they'd still throw it away. It was awful to see.
Yeah.
So near the end, before I retired, I was kind of putting like a roll and maybe milk aside and giving it away. Instead of throwing it in a big barrel to throw away. It really hurts to see that.
Yeah, you're right. And that's exactly where our problem is. And also, when you talk about education in that area, though, school cafeteria is the place to go first.
Right.
We need not only saving food is one thing. Saving food is for food purpose.
Yes.
Is one thing. To educate our kids to save.
Yes.
To save, to respect to nature, because Mother Nature gives us only this much.
Right.
It is not that you have money you can buy. No, there is a limitation of what you can buy. There is always a day when the resources are totally used up, exhausted. Money cannot buy.
Right.
Our kids need to know that.
Yeah.
Needs to know that, right?
Yeah.
So education is one thing. I would recommend that together how about let's do the schedule, I mean the arrangement or the whatever planning in front of our audiences. You and me work on the next project about checking about our food waste.
Right. Well, you
And
bring
we'll
that
do
up,
another
Jack.
show, yeah.
Coincidentally, I've been working on that with a friend of mine who worked at a school district and he in LA County, and he was describing the same kind of thing. So what I did recently is send a letter to the new or soon to be new education secretary, Betsy DeVos, and asking her to look at the national school lunch program, because that's where all of this originates, is from that program. The schools are regulated to buy that food, but oftentimes it just gets thrown away. And it's a real tragedy because how many people you could feed otherwise.
Can we get your partner, get your friend here on the show? I want my audience to be aware of that problem. That's a big one. So you've been a teacher yourself, and you know exactly how it hurts the heart.
Yes.
Right? How it hurts. Any recommendation to do? I'm on it already.
Right. What I did for that when I could is talk to the kids and ask them, instead of throwing it away, and if you don't want it, bring it home. Because if they're on a low income meal or a full meal, they've got a problem.
Hey, excuse me for interruption.
No,
I'm kind of like jumping off one thing. For a teacher to talk to a kid is one thing. How about we recommend, or even we can ask the representative to create laws to let the teacher teach in the classroom for one item in the for a semester or whatever. There are 1 hour, at least 2 hours of food reservation thing, right? That could be very positive.
Right.
Right. Like Mr. What's his name? He said that we have 50%, more than 50% of waste, and we have only 1/5 of food shortage. Right. And if we move along, the problem resolved by ourselves without extra money.
I think we need to teach our children the value of and how important food is, especially for those who don't have food.
Of course. And like she says that we even encourage the kid to bring it home, put it in the fridge, so save it for tomorrow.
Somebody will eat it.
Rather than just dump it. Right? Okay, very good. We're over time, obviously. We're over time by far, my dear audience. I love doing that, and I love doing this kind of a show. And my dear audience, thank you very much for watching. Today with me is my good friend, Joe Gardner. He is the president of Meals on Wheels, a wonderful program. For that program, he has a big right hand. That's Linda Truman. Linda Truman is being a teacher herself, and she is a big philanthropist herself, and she is non-stopping. She is now a trainer for the program. So let's wrap it up. We'll see you next time. How about all together we say Merry Christmas and New Year, right? On my count, 3, 2, 1.
Merry Christmas
and
Happy New Year.
Hello, my dear audience. Welcome back to the great show, the East-West Show, exclusively sponsored by Paul Battaglia, a wonderful, internationally renowned brand name for men's jackets, such as the one I'm wearing, Paul Battaglia. And I'm proud to be sponsored by Paul Battaglia. Paul, thank you very much for sponsoring. Let's get back to the show. Today, as you can see, it's a show of celebration. Without asking a question by the colors, by the contrast, you know, we're talking about Christmas, especially. Look at Joe, my friend. Joe, president of Meals on Wheels, wonderful, excellent, super great program to help the families, needy families, who are either due to financial reasons or due to aging or whatever, unable, due to certain condition, unable to cook themselves. They bring the food on wheels, drive all the way to the door. Here is the food, right? That is a program. And the President Joe is a dear friend of mine. For that, he is even dearer to me. And then next to him, Linda Truman. Linda Truman is a helper, huge helper. He is a trainer. She is a trainer in the program by training the drivers with the handling, processing of the food, with the route, the way driving safety, whatever. Lots of concerns, right? To you, to both, welcome again to the show.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure. And me, myself, of course, a media man doing this show almost like a day-to-day job. It's kind of like you don't feel you're talking. You just sit there, you talk like a machine, like that kind. Yet, not this moment. This moment, I'm talking with my heart. With my heart. Because we are so lucky to be better off, to be able to celebrate. We never forget there are people who are not able to do so, even though they want to celebrate. They do not have the access to food on the table for the celebration. And worse still, news had it, somebody even could not live to this day to celebrate. The bad news had it that a few days ago in Berlin, Germany, a truck, right, killed 9. Right, that was confirmed a terrorist attack, and loss of more than 60 wounded. My question to ask is that, Linda, where is there so much hatred? Where? Out of what? Exactly. Out of what? Right? Why wouldn't this world be full of love? Right? Why? Okay. For that, I would like to introduce to my audiences a song that I accidentally heard about a few years ago, which I keep reviewing very constantly. And I let my 2 distinguished guests a print of the lyric. Right? So in the song, the boy 8 or 10 years old, really he sings with his heart. He sings with his heart. Very
beautiful. Yeah.
Very beautiful, right? So this world has a lot of questions. Right. This boy asked in a way that that depicts the problems, that vividly show the size of the heart that we should have. Right. May I ask you or invite you to start reading the lyric, to share the lyric with the audiences for paragraph 1 and 2, please.
Tell me why.
Loudly, word by word, make sure every syllable goes to the ear and the heart of my audiences, please.
Okay. In my dream, children sing a song of love for every boy and girl. The sky is blue and fields are green, and laughter is the language of the world. Then I wake and all I see is a world full of people in need. Tell me why does it have to be like this? Tell me why is there something I have missed? Tell me why? 'Cause I don't understand when so many need somebody. We don't give a helping hand. Tell me why.
Good, very good. Thank you very much, Linda. I know that you put lots of feeling in it. Yeah. Joe, please.
Every day I ask myself, what will I have to do to be a man? Do I have to stand and fight to prove to everybody who I am? Is that what my life is for, to waste in a world full of war? Tell me why does it have to be like this? Tell me why. Why is there something I have missed? Tell me why. Why? Because I don't understand. So when so many need somebody, we don't give a helping hand. Tell me why. 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 Just tell me why.
That chorus goes again and again.
Right.
And it's in the Advaris step by step, until to a moment that you feel almost you're crying. Then it goes, tell me why. Why does it have to be like this? Tell me why. Why is there something I have missed? Tell me why. Why? Because I don't understand. When so many need somebody, we don't give a helping hand, which we don't do, right? We do to promote Jackie Ma, Bill Gates, or Steve Jobs, or they don't need that. Come on, right? It's our poor brothers who are less fortunate. They need that, right? Tell me why. Why does the tiger run? Tell me why. Why do you see? Do we shoot the gun? See that?
Yeah.
Come on, tell me why. Why do we never learn? Can somebody tell us why we let the forest burn? Okay, that's another problem altogether, right? And it goes on and on and on with the chorus. And the little guy, the poor guy singing, especially at the moment when the camera goes like a bird view, the guy was almost asking the God, right? Looking up like, tell me why, like that kind. People, as long as you have enough nerve to feel about it, you will really see why exactly the little kid is so confused. Am I right?
Yes.
All right.
Like many of us are.
Yeah.
We wonder why things are the way they are in this world, and I think it resides in the heart, whether or not you decide to ask why,
You're right.
and to try and do something about it.
You're right.
One of my friends told me once, you can't help everybody, but you could at least help one person. So with that philosophy, I've carried it with me for a long time, and it seems now that I am able to help more people other than that one person.
I love you. In the name of God, I love you. I would say that. Linda, I want to share something with you. I adore the same philosophy like Joe says, that we may be small. Small people can do only small things, right? We can put up a bank. We don't have $1 zillion, right? All I have is $5 or something, all right, like that. And last night, I was going into 7-Eleven for my soda, and there are two homeless outside asking for help. And that was the moment I do not have change. I ask them to wait until I finish. When I come out, I will have change, right? So when I came out with the change, though, they're gone. They're gone. I stood there, it was raining. No, day before, it was raining. I stood there waiting for them. Oh, I saw them across the street, the other side. I waved them, come back, come back, come back. Oh, they came back to me. And that moment when they received that few dollars, very little thing, right? And I can see in their eyes, their fires, burning flames of love, of reciprocation.
Yes.
Yet, that's nothing. That's only a few dollars, right? Not an iPhone, right? Not a Mercedes-Benz. No, no. You can see in the eye of them, you see the flames of love, right? My dear audience, today we're talking about Christmas. We're talking, to be more precise, we're talking about celebration of Christmas. To me, to Joe, to my friend Linda, we want to make a definition. We want to introduce our definition to you of celebration. Celebration means that you ask yourself in your mind, do you forget those needy people, right? To once again introduce the program that Joe is leading as a president, the Meals on Wheels, and I adore a lot. And in the name of God, I love him for doing that. And again, in the name of God, I love Linda Truman for doing that in the program. And today we want to make it one more time a wake-up call. Wake-up call to me is something like a alarm. When I set alarm, well, in the morning when it goes off, it goes on and on and on and on until I do get up, or otherwise it will just continue, right? Let's continue alarming our people. So stay with us. Hello, my dear folks, my dear audience, my lovely audience, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because Christmas is in the corner and the New Year too. Every year at this time, needless to say, we call for celebration here and there. Everybody, we almost like party kind of animals going from a party to another, right? And I have attended the party, been attending party for, like say, for 1 week already, one after another, celebrating the end of the year with Christmas and the New Year. And yet it is tradition here that's been kept for many years that every time at this moment, we do a show to sit down, to cool down a little bit, to think. What have we missed, right? Have we done everything need to be done, right? Have we applied ourselves to what exactly is needed in the society? Ooh, the answer may be not. The answer may be not. Probably, in the most cases, we'll say, well, the answer is not exactly perfect, because there's always something we missed. For people we need to be thankful of, from people, we need to extend a helping hand, because there are many, right? So today, once again, making it a call, wake-up call, we have my dear friend, Joe Gardner, and we have my dear friend, Linda Truman, both here to join me in the wake-up call for celebration. The real celebration, not the quote-unquote celebration. So, to both of you, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and your audience, Jack.
Very good. As you see the color, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
So we're already in the mood.
Yes, we are.
Now, how about we started with a self-introduction, please, so to let our audience know that we're no strangers. We're them. We're one of them, right? Let's start with lady, please. Lady first.
Just about me?
Yeah, just about you and your lovely family, your husband, your kid, grandkid if you have, or great-grandkid if you have. Please, go ahead.
Okay. I have a very small family now. Mm-hmm. We have lost a lot, but we keep going and helping people. I live by myself, and it's fine. But right. I do get out and give what I can, and especially during this season.
I see. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Life is always full of expectations, right?
Yes.
Full of unknowns, right? And I will say, today is better than tomorrow, today is better than yesterday, less than tomorrow, something like that, they believe. Linda is a trainer of the great program that I adore a lot, called Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels. You put Meals on Wheels to send the meals to people who need the meal, right? And she's a trainer, and she is a very, very lovely woman with a big heart. And today we're totally talking about the size of the heart. So that's why I want to point out, whoever has a big heart, you're my friend. All right. Joe Gardner, please.
Well, Jack, and it's always a privilege to come on your show. I'm president of Meals on Wheels. It's in the City of Industry, this particular chapter. And I'm a father, husband and grandfather two lovely little ones
lucky
that
you.
stay with us at our home.
Oh, good.
And so this time of year, and as often that I do, is the happy time of year when I volunteer and do a lot of work in the community. And I really enjoy that because I think that makes me wealthy, wealthy person.
Good, very good. Thank you very, very so much. Thank you very so much. Well, to my audience, to be honest, I may be a very small person, but I do look myself as a big one because I wanted to have a big heart, right? And I do care people who are needy, and I do care people who are less fortunate, right? And this society has a little problem that we never lack of elites. We have many of them. In other words, we have enough of them. And they will be better off. They will still be themselves with or without our promotion, right? But small programs such as like Meals on Wheels need lots of promotion. It might be a very, very super small program, but in my heart, it is as big as the moon because it really speaks itself, right? Regardless how excited the whole world is becoming, day by day, on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, I would say, you guys stay calm. You guys stay to do the pinpoint of the society that we have missed. For that, I have to give you a very, very, very big hand. I encourage my audience to do that too, right? So now, down to the point, very point though, let me ask you, Linda, please, why do we celebrate Christmas or New Year? Might be a big one, might be a small one, might be a hard one, might be an easy one.
I think most people, we believe in God, and I just feel that a lot of times families, they try to do others, to help others that are in need. Life can be very busy, but I think if you have it in perspective of what it's about, you feel better in things that you do.
Very well said, very well said, very well said. And Joe, same question to you. And even though this is a very baby question, I still want to ask you in a very serious way. And I do want a serious answer, please. Okay.
Well, for me, it's my faith. It's the reason for the season is Jesus Christ to me in my life. And so, I'm grateful for all the blessings that I've received during my life. I've felt like that I need to pay back because of all the blessings I've received. And so that's for me, and that's like for many of the people that I work with in Meals on Wheels, of some 40 plus people involved, and in other programs that I help out with, is that we all kind of feel like we want to give back, we want to pay back for those blessings we received, and so that's why I do it.
Based upon that, the celebration of Christmas and New Year is a moment or the season for you to check with yourself. Right. Are you proud of yourself, what you have done, right? Are you helping others to make yourself feel better? Am I right?
Right.
And to me, my celebration of Christmas, of course, I have to make it fair. Since I ask seriously that question to you already, I have to ask myself.
That's right.
To myself, I believe celebration of Christmas or New Year is a wake-up call. It's a reminder that has to go constantly, again and again and over again until you put up some attention. Am I right? Okay. Every year at Christmas, one of my celebration items is to go to downtown Los Angeles, to drive along Los Angeles Boulevard, to hand out the little money, little something, or even gift that I received that I don't use. I just hand out over the window. They say downtown Los Angeles is very unsafe. Never open your window. No. I don't think that way. When I drive on downtown Los Angeles, Los Angeles Boulevard, I have my 4 windows open. Nobody robs me. Because why? You are helping them. Human understand the human language. They do not by the finger that feeds you. Am I right? Okay, now, in doing so, it has 2 effects. Number 1 effect is that people needy get a little help they can, right? Which is better than nothing. I know I'm very weak. What I can do is very small. But to them, they got something, a plus, not a minus. Anything better, anything is better than nothing, right? And on the second effect is that me as a media man, I will every time when I come back, I feel more obligated. Obligated that we have a job to do. Dear audience, dear friends, dear ladies and gentlemen, today is one of the wake-up call to let you join us to care about other people. Today joining me, my good friend Joe Gardner, president of Meals on Wheels, wonderful, great program helping the needy family, and also Linda Truman. She is a trainer in the organization to train driver with the food handling, with the route processing, so on and so forth. And to both of you, I really respect. And let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, we'll continue. We want to go deeper into asking questions. Why?